Welcome to our garden and some of our favorite plants, which are all native to Ontario, Canada. First, we have fleabane. Fleabane is one of my favorite plants, in part because it truly is no maintenance. I don't even have to plant it. It planted itself in this pot, and it plants itself all around the garden. And fleabane attracts wasps, bees, beetles, and flies. Common linebark. I leave its seeds in winter for the birds. And then in spring, these little buds open out to beautiful flowers. And linebark is popular with a variety of insect pollinators. Canada plum. In the winter, you can see its pretty bark against the snow, and then in the spring, when the snow melts, it blooms. And once the pollinators have done their work, there will be fruit. Perfect plums. Prairie smoke starts blooming in April, continues into May, survives surprise snowfalls, and blooms on into June when it sets seed with its pretty seed heads that give it its name. Common evening primrose is a biennial plant. It starts as this rosette of leaves. Then the next spring, the leaves start to send up the stalks and the blooms come, and then so do the pollinators, collecting pollen and eating the nectar. Scarlet bee balm's beautiful red flowers are attractive to hummingbirds, but they were all too fast for my camera. The cousin Monarda, known as wild bergamot. It is so popular with bees that I couldn't walk by without there being some pollinator buzzing about. Even as the summer went on and the flowers began to finish. Canada goldenrod blooms in summer, and in spring its stalks can provide nesting birds with shelter. And it attracts pollinators of various shapes and sizes that feed on its nectar, collect the pollen, It is also a host plant for butterflies, moths, and skippers. And in our garden, it is the perennial that provides the busiest pollination celebration. Joe Pye weed is a host plant for butterflies, skippers, and moths, and it's also popular with pollinators. Adult butterflies will also drink the nectar. And some bees collect the pollen of Joe Pye. This pollinator is working hard and carrying a lot of pollen. Wild cucumber is an annual vine, and it self-seeds and spreads itself, and then it blooms. It's pollinated by insects. Pale jewelweed is an annual which self-seeds itself around the garden, and it's seeded itself here on a brush pile along with the wild cucumber, which has also seeded itself. And together the jewelweed and the wild cucumber they have covered this brush pile that I installed in our garden. And the jewelweed, as you can see, attracts bees. And here is the jewelweed and the wild cucumber together covering the brush pile. And behind them you can see the tropical leaves of the staghorn sumac and its red fruit. And now it's time to say farewell. Thank you for watching.